Hi, and welcome to the Group 14 presentation. We have the presentation topic, Feature Film, Creative, International, specifically Europe. So what does this mean? If we take a look at the history of film, although American films dominate the world market today, the success was influenced by the European cinema. To hone in on the European film history, Europe is a cultural melting pot. Countless wars, social struggle, milestones that have inspired five of the biggest film movements in European film history. Hereunder, German Expressionism, Soviet cinema, Italian neorealism, French New Wave, and Dogma 95. We have taken departure in three important factors chosen from the Business of Entertainment lectures: financing, marketing patterns, and film habits. All of these in the context of the past, the present, and the future. If we take a look at the European Parliament Report, an overview of Europe's film industry released in December 2014, European film companies dominated international film distribution in the 1900s and had not only the largest market share in Europe but also in the United States, reaching 60%. Europe was the leading force in respectively technological innovations, color processing, and sound films. But something changed. Hollywood took over. Why the US majors are so powerful is due to their ability to vertically integrate. Even though Europe produced more than double up of North America, US-based films are accounting for almost 70% of the European film market and only 26% from the European companies themselves. The US domination relies on the box office of the international market. Why? Partly because the production cost of US films is much higher than the European ones. As a result, the European cinema lose net profit. Europe have limited finance to spend on distribution and marketing, unless the film's license is purchased by an American distribution or production company. Selling a film in Europe is simply not enough, as the demand for movie tickets are not as large as in the US. For many Europeans, watching films at home still remains the preferred option, which also influences how people spend their money. On average, Europeans go to the cinema once a month. That's 61% of the respondents from a survey made by the European Parliament. 39% of these respondents do not even go to the movie theater. The European films have a lower budget compared to the Hollywood majors. Therefore, many remain profitable even with the smaller revenues in the box office. However, the majority of European films do not redeem their cost and therefore go into a loss. As a result, it becomes difficult for the European companies to remain and grow in the rapidly changing film industry today. European cinema relies strongly on public funding and extensive regulation framework that accompanies it. To hone in on the total investment in Europe, it has doubled from 2001 to 2008. It appears that money have been used to make more films instead of following a more selective approach. The European films concentrate too much of their attention on production parts, rather than distribution and promotion aspects. This is a result of the governmental funding policies. As of 2009, 69% of the European public funds were spent on production, while distribution reached 8.4% and solely 3.6% on promotion. So what are the marketing benefits in Europe? Well, in the digital era, the Commission have identified a number of structural weaknesses that prevent the European film industry from reaching the potential audiences in Europe and globally. Research shows that only a minority of production companies follow a specific production rhythm, which shows lack of reliable structure. To conclude, as presented, the European companies support primarily film production but fall short on allocating money for distribution and promotion. Even though it's important to provide funds for distribution and promotion, it's a fact that most Europeans watch films on free TV, DVD, and on-demand services. For now, there are no marketing benefits in Europe due to the cultural behavior followed by most audiences. Since European films value the art of their filmmaking, they are less commercially successful. EU need to involve and improve its selling structure in order for the creative not to suffer and endanger the future of European films. Despite creating a framework for tax incentives and public funds, they will still need to focus on storytelling, which will meet the audience expectations. Furthermore, supporting films produced by US studios appears to contradict the idea of European state aid policy, since big studios do not face their problems regarding access to private financing. Due to the strong presence of US films in Europe, there has been a push to improve the global competitiveness of European cinema. Thank you for watching.